Man, what I found, right, is people talk so much. They want to be in a certain place, space in life, but when it comes to doing what it takes to actually get there, they don't do it. You feel me? And that's a problem, right? Because success is found in discipline, and discipline is not always comfortable. So get out your feelings and do what you got to do to achieve that goal or that dream, right? Proverbs 25:28 says, a man without self-control is like a city broken into and left without walls. If you are not self-disciplined, you leave room for somebody else to come into your life and snatch your dream. Do not let that happen. Do what you gotta do. Success is found in discipline, and discipline is not always comfortable. So just do it. YouTube family, what is good? Today we are going to be doing a burst fade, and when doing a burst fade, whether it's round, V, or squared in the back, I always start in the back. And what this allows me to do is ensure I don't take that fade too inwards to where I make the back too thin, and it allows me to make sure that both sides are even. So right now I'm just creating that V shape on my client, which is what he wanted, and this is kind of going to serve as, you know, like a frame of where I want to keep the blend on his head. It's not going to be perfect. This is just kind of just to get the shape in there. We are going to go back and touch it up again. And then when starting the blend, I always want to start behind the ear just slightly, and I'm just going to bring that around. And I want to make sure that I'm making this nice and round, so when I start blending, it's a nice, even, consistent blend. Want to make sure, especially with the burst fade, that you're not taking that guideline too far in the back, because he didn't really want, you know, a mohawk. He wants a wider length in the back, you feel me? So now I'm gonna follow that up with my shaver just to get it closer to the skin and add some longevity to the haircut, make his haircut last a little bit longer. And I'm not going directly up into the line, I'm stopping a little bit below it and flicking out. And you see me, I went sideways with the shaver right there just to go against the grain of the hair, so we're getting it nice and even. And now, following that up, keeping the same shape as we made with our broad line, we're gonna go with our clipper open, just like we do on every fade, whether it's low, high, mid, taper. We use the same exact system, and this just happens to be a more rounded fade. So I'm going in open, going up about a little bit below an inch. And we're just making sure that that guideline is consistent and even. And now to get rid of that line that I just pointed out, I'm going to go in with my clipper closed. And as I move up in that guideline, you'll see me open up the lever gradually. So I'll start off closed and then open it gradually as I move towards the top of the guideline. And as we do that, you'll see the line start to slowly blend out. Using a lot of the corner of my blade, especially in the back of the blend, just because I don't want to, you know, take off too much hair, so I want to be careful. So I'm using a lot of the corner of my blade, especially to get into those darker areas. So I'm going in closed here. Open it up just slightly, and as we do that, you can see it starts to blend out. And now following that up, we're going to go with our one guard open, again keeping that same shape, staying real consistent, still going up about a little bit below an inch. And to start getting rid of that line in between the one open and the clipper open, I'm going to go with my half guard all the way open, and then now you'll see me close the lever gradually as needed until that line starts to blend out. And you want to make sure, especially when you're getting towards the bottom, back of the head, you can see his hair starts to grow downward, so you want to be conscious and make sure that you're cutting against the grain. So right here I'm going in close, just using the corner of my blade to get into those darker areas. But you can see I'm trying to make sure that I cut against the grain so I can get a nice even cut. And right here I took that half guard off and I'm going in with my clipper open just to get into those areas that the half guard couldn't get. And I'm really using the corner of my blade to get into those areas to make sure that blend is as smooth as possible. And now moving on to the next step, I'm going to go with my 1.5 all the way open, going up just slightly above that one open. And you'll see me really start to flick out as I move up towards the top of the head, just so we're not making any super harsh lines that are hard to get rid of later. And now following that up, I'm going in with my 1 guard all the way open, just to start to get rid of that line just a little bit using the corners of my blade. And you can see as we move up in our fading process, that blend really starts to come together. But you just gotta stay patient and trust that process, you know what I'm saying? So right now I'm going back in with my 1 guard open, and then I'll close it just to get into those darker areas. Putting a lot of tension in the back. Just because I feel like the back right there is really one of the hardest places to blend when, you know what I mean, when you're doing this type of fade. Just because you don't want to take it too far into where it looks like a mohawk. So I'm being real careful with putting a lot of attention there in the back. And this right here would be our 2 guard open, which is the biggest guard that we use. And I'm not really making a line with this guard. I'm just trying to blend into the top as best as I can before I follow it up with shears or thinning shears. So this is my 2 guard open, just going up a little bit, flicking out as I get towards the length. And then I went ahead and closed it. And you can still see a line, so I'm gonna go ahead with my 1.5 open once again. And just attack that line, trying to get it blended out as best as I can. And then you'll see me close that 1.5 if open isn't doing the job. And just to go back in detail some more, I'm going in with my clipper open, using the corners once again. Because family, as we all know, it's in the details. That's what's going to separate your haircut from every other barber. So now to soften up that blend and kind of, you know, have it blend to the top a little bit better, I'm gonna go in with my thinning shears, and I'm going in with the comb and flaring out as I move up. And this is just gonna soften up that blend and give it a lot more consistent, fluid look. And you can see as we do that, it starts to really come together. And lining up the back at first really allowed me to make sure I didn't take the blend too far in. And now to add some flavor, you know, to the haircut, we're gonna go ahead and add 2 parts. And when adding parts, you just want to start off small and thicken it up as you go. You don't want to make it too thick to where, you know what I'm saying, you can't really do anything. It's always better to start thin, and if it's too thin, you can widen it up. And then I'm gonna flip the trimmer around and hit it in the opposite direction because there are 2 sides to a line. And you can see when I do that, I add some more like definition and character to the parts. I made the ends a little bit wider, and then it got thinner as it moved towards, you know, the inside of that line. So now I'm gonna hit that with the razor just to make sure that all the stubble in there is gone and really make that design or parts pop. So I want to make sure I'm stretching the skin so I don't cut the client. And now moving on to the other side, we're going to do the same exact thing. We're going to start a little bit behind the ear and make sure that our first guideline is real even, so when we move on in our fading process, that blend is even and consistent. But we're just gonna follow the same steps, the same procedures. And I don't know if y'all saw on my Instagram, man, I spilled coffee on my MacBook at the beginning of last week, which is why this video is coming at you pretty late. But what I did, right, is I went to the Apple store and they told me it was gonna be $1,500 to fix my MacBook, and I was like, dang, that's expensive, but I kind of expected it. And I was like, man, how long do you think it'll be till it comes back in? And they said 2 weeks, and I was like, man, you know what, I'll just buy a new one. So what I did is I just bought a new MacBook, family, because I could not go 2 weeks without providing you guys some content. I am completely invested in this. I just wanted to let y'all know that I'm invested in this channel and adding value to you guys. So I hope it really helps you and takes your barbering skills to the next level. So if you're feeling this video so far, go to the comment section. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any questions. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button as well. It really helps the channel. And also, if you want to be notified when I post videos, hit that bell button as well, and you can be notified when I drop a video every week. So right now, after I did my close to open to get rid of that line, there was still a slight line that I had to get out, so I went in with the corners of my trimmer just to get it out. And now I'm going to go in with my one guard open, going up a little bit below a full inch. And I'm just keeping that same shape, making sure I'm not taking the back too far in to where it looks like a mohawk. And the reason the back is so short compared to the top is because he just started growing this out. So he wants to let the back catch up to the top, and then he'll start trimming it evenly. So right under that one open, I went ahead and closed that one just to lighten up that line, and it didn't really fully get rid of it. So I'm going in with my half guard open, and then I closed it gradually as needed. And as we do that, you can see the blend start to come together. And this right here is my 1.5 closed, and I'm going up just a little bit just to try to blend it out a little bit more. Really flicking out because I don't want to create any harsh lines to where it's super hard to get out. But what I'm gonna do is just be quiet here for a second and let you guys watch and kind of, you know, focus on the techniques and watch me use the corners and how I flick out. So I'm gonna be quiet and let y'all do that. So this right here, once again, is my 2 guard open, and I'm really flicking out here because I don't want to make any sort of lines, just kind of deep walking and just blending into the top as best as I can before I follow it up with thinning shears. And now again, we're going in with our 1.5 once again, just kind of detailing, trying to get that blend as clean as we possibly can, because not every blend is going to be perfect the first time through, so you're always going to need to go back and detail. And once again, I'm going in here with my thinning shears, just trying to soften up the blend, make it look a lot more fluid. And I'm going in with the comb and kind of just flaring out so I don't take off too much length, you know what I'm saying? But as we do that, you can see the blend start to come together. And right here, I'm just coming in with the detail. Again, just going in clipper closed, opening it gradually, just trying to find those darker areas and attack them. So now moving on to the line up portion. When lining up the C cup or arch area, whatever you want to call it, I always start at the top of the arch and then go to the bottom and meet it in the middle. And this gives me that nice round shape without pushing them back or taking off so much hair to where the grow back looks weird. And we're not really giving him the sharpest line in the world here. We're just kind of cleaning it up. And now to enhance the haircut and take it to another level, I'm using the 245 Sean Cuts hair airbrush card, and I'm just putting it right on the lineup and spraying in my kiss and alcohol mix to enhance the hairline. And you can see as we do that, it looks very natural, but it still takes the haircut to another level, makes that lineup look sharp. And then we're gonna follow it up with the razor. Make sure you stretch the skin, you don't want to cut the client. And now we're gonna add some product. I'm using a matte product here, it's the Elegance paste, and I'm just applying it to his hair, just giving it some texture. I didn't trim it in this video, but I'm just adding some product so we can give it a nice finished look. And that blend is looking super nice. Let me know what you think about the cut in the comments so far. Just kind of piecing everything together. So my guy came in needing a cut, so we went ahead and got him together with a nice burst fade in the 2 parts. Style the top very nice. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Go ahead and follow me at Dre Clipper Hands and hit that comment section. Let me know what you guys think of this cut. But family, no cap, please go ahead and hit my Instagram at Dre Clipper Hands and hit me with the follow. My goal is to hit 10K on there as well. I would really appreciate it. But thank you again for watching this video. Catch y'all next time.